Wait, what about weird? Hi guys, it's Alana here. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up before you start listening to this episode that this episode and all the other episodes in our Satanic Panic series involve discussions of sexual assault, sexual violence against minors, child abuse, discussions of religious trauma, and a few other things that may be hard for certain listeners to listen to. So if that's hard for you, just skip this episode and go listen to one of our other ones instead. So proceed with caution. All right, enjoy the episode. Bye. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its big floppy clown shoes. The Times Colonist. Hello, I'm Elena.
And I'm Echo.
And this is our podcast, What About Weird? A podcast about all things weird, from cryptids and aliens to strange science and unhinged history. I hope that worked right, because I couldn't see our little intro. So I hope that's everything correct.
Sounds good to me.
This is part 2 in our Satanic Panic series. If you've not listened to part 1, I would recommend going back and listening to it, but this is not in chronological order, so if you want to, and your soul desires it, you can listen to this one and then episode 1. So last episode, we discussed media, such as music and movies. We talked briefly about video games and books. And today, we're going to slightly shift, and we're going to be talking about the corporate side of the Satanic Panic. Do you know anything about the corporate side of the Satanic Panic, such as, like, what businesses were accused of Satanism, how businesses were connected with it? And I'm not talking about Pizzagate style stuff.
Oh, I'm trying to think in terms of businesses. I don't know, I wouldn't be able to name any.
Well, you get to learn today.
I do indeed.
So, continuing vaguely with the theme of media, in last week's episode, the toy companies were under fire for Satanism. We talked briefly about Phil Phillipson and his book Turmoil in the Toy Box, which I don't think I mentioned last episode, but what a name Phil Phillipson is. Also, I watched a interview with this man, and he just looks like the most basic white man ever.
Love that for him.
And he does look like he would spike your drink. He does! He does! Where's my phone? I gotta show you this.
Oh, now we're looking up.
Now we're looking shit up.
Now Elena's gotta prove herself. She's like, I promise I'm not crazy. He looks like he would spike a drink, I swear.
Okay, my phone's not loading because I disconnected it from the internet because my internet sucks. But trust me, bro. My sources trust me, bro. So he, with his book Turmoil in the Toy Box, Phil Phillipson claimed that he was on a crusade against satanic and occultist toys directed by God himself.
Oh,
in
God,
this interview that I watched with him, he was like, I bought some this comic book, and I didn't think anything of it, and I had it in the back of my car, and then I fell asleep, and God came to me in a dream and told me to go on this crusade against satanic toys and satanic media. And I was like, okay, bro, sure he did.
That's a little wild. Okay.
Yeah. So, we had mentioned his thoughts on cartoons, and they extended to toys. A lot of cartoons also have toys based off of them. That was a thing then. It's still a thing now. He really went after the toys, and he said that they encouraged violence, and they taught kids how to be occultists and stuff. They would watch the cartoons, and then with these toys, they would act those things out, and they would be like play acting satanic rituals. So,
I don't think a single toy that I have ever owned, I would have been able to link back to Satanism.
Like, you didn't have Monster High dolls, did you?
I did have Monster High dolls, but that's the one.
That's something different, but that wasn't in the 80s.
But I don't know, playing with fucking Barbies and Polly Pockets and Transformers and shit. I don't see it.
Okay, so We did this in the last episode with the Filthy 15, but I'm going to do something similar.
Okay.
With the toys that Mr. Phillipson claimed. So I'm going to list off a few toys, and I'm going to ask, and you're going to try and tell me what they're accused of. These aren't all the toys, but these are some of the ones that he really accused of.
Okay.
So, you'd mentioned you didn't know what Barbie could be accused of, but I'm going to ask, what was Barbie accused of?
God.
Which, honestly, I must say, this is a good point that he makes with this one, and it's something that people keep arguing to this day.
Oh, because she's, like, what, too sexualized? Like, you can take off all her clothes and stuff?
She's too sexualized, and she was accused of promoting materialism and unrealistic beauty standards, which...
I mean, okay, that's fair.
Have you seen the 80s Barbies? Because
they were so bad.
I had thrift store 80s Barbies, and they are, like... Their waist is, like, the size of my pinky.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then it like... I don't even know how I got their clothes on them because they were so weirdly shaped. So, next up we have the Smurfs.
The Smurfs. Well, yes. I mean...
We've talked about the Smurfs.
So, Gargamel was the one that created the Smurfs, right? And so he's their creator and they, like, defy him? Is that the plot of the Smurfs?
I don't remember. I haven't watched the Smurfs in ages. As a kid, I was super creeped out by the Smurfs and was just like, I'm not going to watch this. Because for some reason, I don't know what it was, but they were just nightmare fuel for me as a kid.
I know that they're blue and Gargamel does, like, magic of sorts, and I guess they probably don't like that.
Yeah, they were accused of being steeped in witchcraft and being, like, born of witchcraft.
Okay.
We've talked outside of the podcast about the Smurfs being homunculi.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was basically that, yeah. So next up we have Rainbow Bright.
The fucking My Little Pony?
No. We have My Little Pony later. Rainbow Bright is the...
Bright? I thought that was a My Little Pony name.
No, I'm getting Rainbow Bright mixed up with Light Bright. So Rainbow Bright is accused of New Age symbolism and a bridge between humans and Lucifer.
What? I don't know what Rainbow Bright is, but now I'm very curious because that's a heavy suggestion there.
Yeah. Next up, we have He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Oh, God. Well, He-Man had, like, a bunch of, like, kind of magic-y stuff in it, didn't it?
Yeah, it was that and being a false god because he had, like, universe powers or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I had always heard growing up that, not about that, but He-Man will make your little baby precious boys gay. Which...
Why? Because he's, like, shirtless?
Because he's shirtless and buff. And I think if He-Man makes your boys gay, I think they were already gay. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're, like... Your son can't see, like, a shirtless cartoon character without becoming gay? Like, I feel like at that point, that means they were already gay.
I also think that's a you problem. But also, to this day and age, people still think being gay is a choice. And you can make people gay or make people not gay, which...
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I strongly believe that you can't make people gay, you can't make people straight. You can make people realize that they're gay or straight.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has, like, their awakening of sorts to their sexuality. Like, but I don't think you can force anyone to be what they aren't, you know?
You can force someone to hide it.
Right.
But, okay, I still have a few more on this list.
Okay.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. I mean, there's kind of magic in My Little Pony, because they have, like, wings and they fly around and stuff, right?
They're accused of being anarchists. Anarchists and symbols of the Antichrist.
Oh no, not a talking horse.
I know. Mr. Ed, we're coming for you. Okay, and then we have the Care Bears.
What the fuck? I don't know. These are all so unhinged.
They are claiming to promote humanism and that humanity is above God. Caring for people? How dare you? Okay, we have G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Like making inanimate objects into people, they don't like that?
Nah, it's just violence.
Oh, okay.
They don't like the violence. And then lastly, we have something that I know you and I love, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that one is so obvious because there's like fucking demons and shit and dragons and fucking necromancy and bunch of magic and shit.
Yeah.
You gotta fight these crazy ass monsters. And...
Goblins. Don't even get me started on goblins. You can pretend to be a different gender or pretend to be a demon. The scandal.
Yeah. I could see how they definitely wouldn't like that one.
And he didn't talk about this, but I feel like I did see some stuff about the fact that the toy brand Mattel is the ones responsible for the Ouija board.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But, so let's talk about D&D for a little bit. It's infamously satanic. You can't talk about the Satanic Panic without talking about D&D.
Yeah.
It's one of the things outside of, like, music and horror movies. Someone who knows nothing about the Satanic Panic, if you say, what do you know about the Satanic Panic? They're gonna say metal music, horror movies, and Dungeons and Dragons. So a big part of the Dungeons and Dragons scare came in 1979 when a 16-year-old named James Dallas Edgebert III
That's a name.
disappeared from his room at Missingen?
What?
Michigan.
I'm sorry, that was...
Missingen? Who went missing? In Missingen?
In Michigan?
I'm sorry, that was a stretch. I couldn't word and I tried to make it into a joke. My bad. I won't do that again. I'm done being funny. So he disappeared from his room at MSU, and a private investigator was hired by his parents to find him. And there's not a whole lot known, and D&D at the time was still very new, but his parents and the investigator believed that D&D was to blame for his disappearance for whatever reason, I guess new and occult stuff. But in reality, Edgebert was suffering from a lot of mental health issues and drug addiction, and had just gone into hiding using the utility tunnels in the university, which that's just wild, during just a really bad depressive episode. And it was a very well publicized event, often referred to as the steam tunnel incident. And this promoted a lot of works of fiction, including the novel Mazes and Monsters, and the Tom Hanks film of the same name. So he later died from suicide in 1980, and despite evidence saying that it was his mental health, which that keeps coming up, the fact that nobody gives a shit about mental health at this time,
right?
Which I might talk about later. I don't know, but because there's a whole bunch of the real demon is the demons that you're fighting inside your brain.
Yeah.
But so after he died due to suicide, his parents and some activists believed that it was again caused to D&D, and a few years later, a high school student named Irving Lee Pulling died after shooting himself in the chest, despite a lot of people saying that it was again mental health issues and stuff. Pulling's mom believed that it was because of D&D. It was the violence. It was the Satan and the games and stuff. And Pulling's mom attempted to sue the high school principal for placing a curse upon her son.
What?
And letting them play D&D at school. Letting him...
Like the principal has any fucking control over
I know,
that.
right?
Like, the dude is probably trying his best, okay?
Yeah. From my experience with principals, they mostly just walk in on the class and make sure the teachers are teaching and then walk out.
Yeah, they're
and
not
then
monitoring
tell you that
every
your shoulders,
single fucking student.
Yeah, and then they tell you your shoulders are showing and you, like, have to be written up.
Yeah.
So after Patricia Pulling tried to sue literally everybody she possibly could, she tried suing the publishers of D&D and the writers and just anybody she could access. She started a campaign and formed a group called Bothered About Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my god.
Often referred to as BADD, B-A-D-D, in 1983. And she really was a big, like, she spearheaded the D&D is satanic and it's gonna kill your kids thing, which...
God, that is such an overreaction.
I know so many people that D&D has helped them stay from feeling so lonely and give them something to hold on to. Like, it's helped them feel connected. It's doing the opposite. And we talked about this in the last episode with the accusations of the band Judas Priest causing some kids to kill themselves, that if you're suicidal, it's mental health issues, it's something else, it's not this thing.
Right, like, none of this media is gonna, like, force you to commit suicide.
Or
it's, like,
commit
underlying...
violent acts or anything.
Right.
Like, you have underlying stuff.
Yeah.
Did this maybe add to it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I've played D&D. It's not gonna, like, do any of that. It's other issues.
A game. Like, it's literally a game.
Half the time it's just, I'm gonna do funny voices. Let me roll to see if I can steal this drunk guy's pants and run out the door before he notices. Let me roll a dice and then see if this number matches up with my ability to chug 2 gallons of mayonnaise. Like, that's what D&D is, you know? So, you know, it was the toys for teens, these games for teens. There were other board games that were being accused of stuff. And it wasn't just game companies. There were other companies that were being accused of Satanism. One of the more notable ones is Procter & Gamble, the personal care and house care company.
Yeah, that's surprising to me. Like, what?
Basically makes, like, everything. They're one of, like, the big companies that make everything.
Right.
I guarantee you, if you went into your bathroom right now and grabbed something, even if you don't think it's Procter & Gamble brand, grab something in your bathroom, there's like a 9 out of 10 chance that it's going to have a little symbol that says Procter & Gamble on it. Mm-hmm. So they have so much stuff. But they were accused of Satanism because of their logo. I'm not talking about the logo that it currently is, where it's the blue P&G.
Right.
So it used to be something else. It used to be a moon and some stars. Let me see if I have it here somewhere.
Oh my god.
But it used to be a moon and stars, and this was considered a satanic symbol. There were hidden 666 in the moon. There were 13 stars that were originally meant to represent the 13 colonies, but the number 13, it's bad luck, it's Satan.
That's so wild.
And the president of Procter & Gamble appeared on the Phil Donahue show and openly was like, that's not what we're trying to do.
Right.
This was our logo for the longest time, and the reason their logo was a picture that was so eye-catching was when they first started in about the 1850s, a lot of people couldn't read, so they didn't want to have a symbol with words or letters. They wanted something that was easily recognizable. A lot of companies had this. And a lot of companies got accused of, with like picture logos that had been around for ages and ages because of this, because they created logos before it was common for people to be able to read, that they had to change their logo because satanic symbols or whatever. We have the satanic panic to blame for soulless logo designs.
Oh god.
Because you couldn't have any symbols in, because someone would find a way to make that satanic.
That's crazy.
So let me see if I have it here somewhere. The logo, the original logo, I'm going to have you take a look at it. I'll post this on the Instagram for people to look at. So that is the original Procter & Gamble logo.
Oh my god, that is such a fucking stretch.
Isn't that so satanic? Right, can we bring that back? I love that. That's adorable.
That is insane.
I would love if that was on stuff. But I'll post this on the Instagram. But it was accused of being satanic. And there's so many companies that were accused of this. There were a lot of places that the design of the building was accused, or that, like, some design and feature of them was accused of Satanism, and they had to dull it down and sterilize it. There is so much stuff, so much soulless design that can be traced back to this era for companies being charged with satanic design. A lot of it was, like I said, logo design or package design, where it was considered to have hidden satanic symbols.
So they're the reason everything is fucking millennial gray and boring lettering.
Not everything, but a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
A big part of that is fascism, but I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, shit, okay.
Another company that was accused of Satanism was McDonald's.
Why? Because of the clown?
No, because... So, there was a rumor that was going around that McDonald's, the CEO and founder of McDonald's, Roy Kroc, was on the Phil Donahue show. I believe it was the Phil Donahue show again, because that keeps coming up. It was on the Phil Donahue show, supposedly saying that they donated all of their proceeds to the Church of Satan and blah, blah, blah. This never happened. Never happened.
So somebody just fucking said it, and everyone was like, "Oh, McDonald's."
This rumor started with a woman in Akron, Ohio, who had said that she heard someone say, or she saw on some show, she couldn't remember what show, she couldn't remember who, that the CEO of McDonald's had said they donated all of their money or all their excess money to the Church of Satan. She sort of started spreading this around her church, talking to different people. She's like, oh, I don't know where this came from. And it really started spreading to the point in this church, to the point where the pastor of this church started making sermons about it.
Oh my God.
And then everyone in this church started writing to McDonald's and we're like, hey, why are you guys being Satanists? I heard you guys are being Satanists. I heard you guys are doing this, that, and the other. And at first, McDonald's was like, oh, haha, this is kind of funny. And then as it built up, they're like, okay, this is concerning. And it spread outside of just Akron, Ohio. And it got so bad to the point where Roy Kroc had to go on to the Phil Donahue show and onto a bunch of different other talk shows and was like, hey, this never happened. We're not donating our proceeds to the Church of Satan. We are I am Christian. My company is Christian, all of this, and they tried to break this rumor apart. But they said that the spokesperson for McDonald's was like, it's such a ridiculous rumor that by coming out and refuting it, you look ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't win for losing. So it never quite went away, and it still sort of lingered around here and there.
This is why you do your own research, though.
But
if some random fucking lady says, well, I don't know where I heard this, but I think McDonald's is satanic, you should probably question where she fucking got the information from, and if she's not just completely lying, maybe she's misremembering something. Fucking look it up before you start just going and telling people shit.
Sources trust me, bro. That's the source. That's do actually legitimately do your own research, and don't just look at things that verify your opinion.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, this is like the 70s and 80s. You couldn't just go to your computer and Google it. You had to go to the library and look it up. And if something was considered to be, if someone said, oh, this was on TV, it only aired on this day, things would only air for a certain amount of time. It would air and then be gone. Oh, you didn't catch it. If nobody taped it, or didn't think to tape it, you're never going to see it. You can't prove if it happened or not. You would have to look at newspaper articles or find that broadcast service's archives and ask for their archives to find that episode. And there's not even a guaranteed chance that they saved that episode of the show or whatever, or that airing. So it was a lot harder to verify things and a lot easier to just make shit up. We encountered that in the last episode of people just making shit up and not verifying stuff. I mean, that was something slightly different, but so that was a huge thing. There were a lot of other companies that were accused of this, but Procter & Gamble and Dungeons & Dragons and McDonald's were some of the biggest ones. One quick thing I would like to mention is, in my research, I discovered people are accusing Oreo cookies of being satanic. At one point, I even read something along the lines of, Oreos are the devil's communion wafer.
You know what's weird is I've heard that one, but I cannot fucking tell you why.
So, this is something that I've heard about recently, and I was like, okay, I've heard about this. Some of these things have been around for a while. I couldn't find where it originated. I could find why it originated, like why people say this. I couldn't find where, like, the exact source that it came from. But people are saying that it's satanic because the symbol on Oreos looks vaguely like the Leviathan cross, which is a satanic symbol, which it only vaguely does. I'll pull up.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see this because what?
So it has a circle around it with a line over top with a bunch of little lines across it. The Oreo symbol does.
It's
the Leviathan cross.
Just a pattern.
The Leviathan cross is about the same thing, but it has an infinity instead of a circle.
Oh, that's goofy.
So I was looking up, okay, how long has the Oreo cookie looked like it does? And it's looked like that since about the 50s. So it could have been any time between now and the 50s. I could not pinpoint if this was during the peak of the Satanic Panic. I would not be surprised if it was. But they're cookies, dude. Just let cookies be cookies. But that symbol around the Oreo is a combination of the word Oreo and the symbol... Where are my notes? There we go. It's the symbol for the Nabisco logo, which is the company that makes Oreos.
Yep.
Their symbol is that symbol around the Oreo, but it says Nabisco on the inside instead of Oreo. And that symbol was, again, like the Procter & Gamble symbol. Nabisco made that logo because it was eye-catching. You could recognize it even if you couldn't read the words when people couldn't read well. And then it just got put on the Oreo cookie. So, that's why people say Oreos are satanic. That's about all I have for this episode. Is there anything you would like to discuss? Actually, I do have, relating to D&D, I don't have it in my notes, but have you heard of the Raleigh satanic murders?
No?
Or not Raleigh. It was a kid that went to, I think he went to NC State, but it was in Winston-Salem. This kid who played D&D supposedly murdered his stepfather because of satanic reasons. This is an urban legend I've heard go around a lot. You can find articles about this, and there's even like a TV movie made about this. But it was like a big thing. So I'd heard about it growing up, and then I heard about it when I did I think it was the Ghosts and Urban Legends walk guided tour in Raleigh. But they were talking about that, and so it's like, of course there's stuff but I just wanted to bring up a little local connection. That's about all I have for satanic businesses. Is there anything you want to bring up, talk about? Any questions?
The thing that's crazy to me is that, like, yes, there were, like, legitimate, like, crimes and murders and crazy shit that happened under the guise of Satanism. Like, it wasn't true Satanism. It was just people being fucked up, and then they, like, basically claimed, like...
Satan made me do it.
Yeah.
Or people who are just twisted and did stuff, and people like, that's Satan. Or people who are just being edgelords, but there were also, like, murderous edgelords.
Yeah, this thing, they murder people, and they're like, it's because I'm a Satanist. And they're, like, not actually a fucking Satanist. They're just saying that to freak people out.
No, it's because you're a psycho who just happens to be into Satan. And, like we'd mentioned in the last episode, from reading the Satanic Bible, what I picked up was they are anti-human sacrifice. They are like, we don't believe in human murder. There's at one point where they even are like, we don't condone animal murders because you're still harming something. And if you're doing like a ritual or whatever and you feel the need to harm something, then you are not good enough at what you're doing to do it without harming something. But yeah, no, it's wild that like all this stuff, there's murders being accused of Satan. There's other things there's a huge wave of murders and stuff. There's a lot of cults. There were a lot of cults around this time, like in the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. That's like, if you're looking for cults, especially like murder-suicide cults, they're really in that era. Like, you have other things to worry about. And they're like, Procter & Gamble has a satanic logo.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's my thing is it's not the media, it's not these companies, it's not like anything that they're saying it is. When it comes down to it, it is quite literally just like a fucking mental health issue or like an issue with violent individuals. Like that's it.
There was a huge wave of like there were a lot of serial killers at this time. Most of the most well-known serial killers come out of this time. Most of the most well-known cults come out of this time. Look at our Jonestown series.
Yeah, but he was supposedly a godly man, and look what happened. So it's
but he was supposedly a godly man, and then at one point, and then he switched to jumping on Bibles, so you could see that as satanic.
Like he was an atheist that basically wanted to be.
He was
God.
a piece of shit. Yeah. That's what he was.
But that's the thing is like you can claim you're any religion and still do messed up things. It really just depends on what kind of person you are, and not necessarily what you follow. Like I know plenty of people of all religions that are great people, but then I also know plenty of people of certain religions that are bad people. Like, it really depends on the person.
You get shitbags in every group.
Yeah, exactly.
While we're on the topic of, like, cult activities, the Manson murders were a little bit before this. I have a whole list of stuff of, just, like, for some context. So, we have, like we said, we have the Manson murders. There's a lot of cult activity around this time, and unsolved mysteries was really becoming popular at this time, similar to the business stuff. The Georgia Guidestones, do you know about those? So it's basically like someone built a Stonehenge in Georgia and then put a whole bunch of like commandments on it, their version of the 10 Commandments, sort of. And people were like, oh, it's satanic because it's for the most part, it's rules about how to be a decent person. But people were wondering where the person that built them got the funding, and a lot of that sort of connected to, they're getting their funding from companies like McDonald's that are donating their money to them.
All these satanic companies have donated money
to build a stone to put up a stone in Georgia that got blown up. Someone went and exploded that shit like 3 years ago. Yeah, because it was a QAnon person who was like, it's satanic, let me blow it up.
And that's the thing, though, is like nothing on it was like, you should commit crimes or anything. Like, literally nothing negative, right?
I think the two, like, the most yikes things on it were, it was like, keep the population under a certain number and strive to have, I can look them up. I'm trying to remember these off the top of my head, but it's like, strive to have healthy offspring, and so it was something that was like vaguely eugenics-ish.
Yeah, that's definitely.
But like everything else was like, get rid of unnecessary politicians, don't be a dickbag, don't pollute, shit like that. And people like, it's Satan, and then all these rules were written in different languages, and people. You know how people are. They're like, I don't understand that. It's Satan.
Those are the symbols of the devil. And
Mama says that's the devil.
It's like literally like Chinese characters, and they're like, it's demonic writing.
I think it was written.
Okay.
I think it was written in like Mandarin, Hindi, and Spanish or something, and English. I don't remember it. I don't remember everything. Because I didn't do too much research on that. It was just a few little talking points I wanted to mention. But, like, come on, dude. I think, the Georgia Guidestones were built in the 80s. So it's, like, the peak of the satanic panic.
That's wild.
Which, I'm upset someone blew those up. Because I was, like, I found out about them. I started learning more about them, getting more interested in them. And then I was, like, I'm going to take a trip down to Georgia to see them. And then, like, a week after I decided that, like, a week or two later, they got blown up. And I was, like... Well, fuck. There goes that plan.
That's a little wild. Like, we may not agree with everything that's on them, but let's not go blowing shit up.
Yeah, let's don't blow shit up.
Yeah, it's like just in general not good, but
for legal purposes, we're gonna say we don't condone blowing shit up. Yeah, I'm not gonna go any further with that. That's about all we have for this episode today.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shorter one. There wasn't a whole lot I could add to that. You gotta talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's really interesting because a lot of those corporations I had I mean, pretty much all of them I had no idea that were on there except for Oreo.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned Oreo. Oh, no, you'd heard Oreo. And obviously D&D you knew about.
Yeah, right.
But just a short little, slightly lighthearted. I mean, in the beginning, not so much, but a bit lighter-hearted than the last episode, and it's gonna be lighter-hearted than the next episode.
Well, thank you for listening. If you liked it, please rate the podcast and share it with the weird people in your life. Follow us on Instagram at whataboutweird.pod, where we often share pictures related to the episodes. We are also on Blue Sky as What About Weird Pod. If you have any topic suggestions or personal weird stories, please DM us or email us at whataboutweirdpod@gmail.com.
And always remember,
there's no escape.
No mercy. All weird.